Good day, everyone. So, you're interested in hatching some brine shrimp. You want to give your fish some extra snacks, maybe. So this is really for beginners. I'm kind of a beginner on the brine shrimp also, so what I did do, I decided to just buy the pre-made package thing. I know the pros out there, they can make brine shrimp incubators out of anything, but if you're just getting started, I thought this would be the easiest way. So, just to start off with, before we get into it, now the instructions aren't really, they're okay, they're not the best, but there's a lot of misspellings and sort of half-truths in them. I mean, we can even start off with the fragile, handle with care, don't fall, not to pressure. I mean, that's the kind of thing we're dealing with, if you know what I mean. And you can get this one from Amazon. I'm not going to promote this specific one or anything. Many of them are very similar. Just go on Amazon and look up, incubator for brine shrimp eggs. So I'll move this away. And then the instructions too, there's some issues with that. I mean, let's see, hatching brine shrimp by using the suction cups to suck the tank glass inside. What does that mean? I'm not sure. And then there's this other thing, this is actually a little net, I'll show you. Brine Shrimp Professional Collection Network. Well, it's a net, okay? I don't know, not a network. It could be confusing. So let me show you how this works. It's very straightforward. There's two ways to do this. So it comes with the tube. Of course, your shrimp eggs and stuff are going to go in here. And you can either have this sitting outside of your tank or inside of the tank. Now, depending on how you set this up, there's a little bit of a different sequence of things. So I have everything that it came with here. So let me just show you, if you're going to put this inside of your tank, how to assemble this. So there's this one tube here that it comes with, and then there's these two small tubes. Now this might not be for all sets, but for this one, if it's going to go inside your tank, you need to put this little tube on here, little tube on here on each end of this. Now it comes with a aeration stone, like that. And then this is the lid. And on the inside of the lid, you hook it up here. This assembly all fits together like that. And then what you would do, let's do this first. You have to take, because to get your shrimp out, which I'll show you how it works after, but you need to have, so there's a hole in the very bottom. And so you have to have that on, and there's also, it's just basically a clip that the hose goes through, and it's kind of like a clamp, because you don't want, this stops things from draining out of the hose, right? So you tighten that up. So it seals it off. Then the next thing you need to do, we'll have to hook on this hose on the top. And this other end of the hose will go to the air pump. And one thing that you need to do, if you do it this way, this is called a check valve. What it does is it only allows air to go in one direction. Now I'm not going to do this, but if you're going to do this for inside the tank, you need to put this check valve on, and if you're not sure which way the air flows through it, just blow through it. Whichever way the air can flow, that's the direction that it has to go in line. So you would have to cut this in half here, cut a piece out, and put this in between so it's in line like this. It just prevents water from, if it were to ever back up for some reason, stops it from going in the pump. Now, we will utilize this I'm going to do an out of tank setup in the end, but I just want to make that clear. And then, when you have everything mixed up in there, if you're going to put this inside your tank, it comes with these clips, like this. I mean, doing it inside the tank, it will keep the temperature stable and everything like that. You plug the pump in and air is going to go through the stone because you need bubbles in there. So that's the one way to do it. So I want to do outside of the tank. So it comes with a base. This base goes on like this. Then, I guess let's work on the bottom part of this whole setup. So now, we can take these little pieces that were for the inside the tank setup, and we can utilize them down here. So take one of these, put it on the bottom, and then the unit comes with, this is an air valve, and plus it can also be used to drain the shrimp out of the bottom, because that's, when we get into it, the shrimp will all go down to the bottom. They're attracted by light. And so not only do you use this to control how much it bubbles inside, but also to drain the shrimp out. So with the outside of the tank, you don't need the air stone anymore. And what I found, this check valve, I can simply make sure I have it going the right way. I can simply use one of these small pieces and insert the check valve in that position. And then I run the air from the pump into here. So the air is going to flow through here. I can adjust the bubbling, and then when it comes time to having to drain the little shrimp out of here, all you do, you would make sure the air thing is closed, the valve's closed, then you just remove this tube, and then you'll be able to drain the little shrimp out. But I can show you that sort of in a practical sense in a bit. So this is the setup for outside of a tank. And then all you do is just, we'll put our water in there and the shrimp eggs, and you put the lid on, put it in a safe spot, get your pump going, and voila, it's bubbling away. So that's the setup. Now I just wanted to show you a few other things that it comes with. These two things here are called self-feeders. They have a little hole in them. So in theory, you could set this inside your tank in the water, and add your shrimp in here, and they'll go through this little hole down here. They kind of work. I kind of tried one. It also comes with a few of these. I think they're called pipettes, or they're little suction devices. So when you get the shrimp out of your tube, say you put them into a glass, you can get in there and squeeze this, and you can suck up some little shrimp and go to your tank and put them in your tank. Or when you're doing that draining process down here, now this is why you might want a longer tube on it depending on where you have things. So in theory, I'll just show you another option. If you're outside of the tank, you could put this long tube on like this, and then say you have it sitting up on a cabinet or something, you have a little more tubing to work with, so you would turn this off, stop the air, unhook this tube, and then now you can move it around if you need to go over an edge or something. It's up to you. And then you just turn this on, little shrimp will come out. Or you could drain them directly into this little net. And you don't have to rinse them or anything. I'm not going to get too into the big details. I mean, everyone has their own ideas on this, as I've found, on how to get your shrimp out. So, but you could just put them directly into this net and then go over to your fish tank and, just swish it around. All be good. So give me a minute and I'm going to tell you how to mix this up. I've already did a test run on this, so I know everything that I did worked. I was very successful with the shrimp, but let me show you what I did. All right, we have everything set up now. So take the lid off of here, off the top, because we have to add some water. Now I am going to use distilled water in here because I know it works, and plus I'm using rock salt. Now, do not use table salt, which has, I believe it has iodine, or it's called iodized salt. Don't use table salt. You have to use either sea salt or rock salt. And I have some rock salt. And for the directions on how much salt to use in your water, when you buy your brine, or your brine eggs, I should say. Now on the package it should say what the mixture is for how much salt to use with the amount of water. So I'm using about 1.5 cups, maybe almost 1.5 cups, plus, well, I guess that would be about 350 mils or something like that. So I did the calculation, and basically what I need to do is add a teaspoon and about 1/2. And I'm using this rock salt stuff, so wait, before I put that in, because I want to show you something real quick. Just about the draining stuff, if you're curious about it, because I don't want to do it with the salt in there. So when it comes to get your shrimp, so this is how this valve works here. So you take this tube off. So when you open the valve, the water comes out. So you get the idea. I just didn't want to do that with the salt in there and that. And then you close the valve, away you go. Let's hook it back up to the air pump. The air pump's not plugged in either right now, but... Okay, so anyways, put in your salt. And you could actually, I'm going to plug in the pump here, just hang on. And now you have to turn on this valve so the air starts flowing. Stream of air in there like that. Check it once in a while, make sure it's all stable. And then also on the instructions with when you get your brine shrimp eggs, so it tells you how much salt to use for the amount of water. Then they recommend how many shrimp eggs to put into the water. And I found the first time I did it, it was just like way too many. I only have 1 tank and maybe like 5 fish. And the first time I did this, I used 1/4 teaspoon, which was half of what they recommended. And now I'm only going to use probably like 1/8 of a teaspoon, because it was just way too much. So we'll put this in here. And that's pretty much all there is to it now. All we have to do now is wait. Within 24 hours, there's going to be shrimp hatched. You're going to see some in there. And what I think I'm going to do this time, if you use a little flashlight, if you're in a room that's not super bright and sunny, use your flashlight, you shine it down there, and the live shrimp will all go down to the bottom. They want to go down to that light. And that's how you collect them. But when you go to collect them, you know, unplug your air pump so there's no bubbling anymore. You would turn off the air pump. No bubbling, right? And let it sit for like 10 minutes with some light down there. They'll all go down there, and then you unhook the pump thing and drain some guys out there. I'd probably just drain them into the net, put them right into the tank, and then get the air pump going again, and probably wait till the next day. You'll have more shrimp in there. I think you get like you get a couple days out of this anyway. Hope this was helpful, and let me show you a few more things, some results that I've had. It's hard for me to show this. I got to put my camera down here. Just gonna open the valve, put them directly into this net, and then just go dip it into the tank. So that's all I'm gonna do here. There, I got a few of the little guys in there. As I said, I already took a whole bunch out the other day. And I don't know if you can see, but they are in there. They're moving around. And if I had to do this again, when I measured out the shrimp eggs, I'd use half of as much as what I used. And I think I only used like 1/4 teaspoon. I'd use even less than that, because there were a lot, trust me. This is just a tiny wee bit. But anyway, if you only have like 1 tank, 20-gallon tank, and you know, a few fish, don't go over it. Don't go overboard on the shrimp eggs, because there's a lot of them. Okay, so what I did is I turned off everything in the tank, and I have one light on up in the top there. And I put these guys in there and gave it a little while. And as they say, they are attracted to light. and they all went up to the light. So there you know. So yes, they did hatch, and I think the fish have overeaten already. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the little kit thing as a start out. Give it a try. So I think the product worked fine. And I'm sure there's a million different ways to do this, but it's not very hard. So I was pretty happy. Yeah. By the way, the fish in this tank, they're ones I'm trying to... I have 2 tanks. This other tank, I was gone on vacation and the water went bad on it, and the fish didn't do very well, so I'm just trying to bring them back. But yeah, so I thought I'd give them some live snacks. But yeah, you can see them up there. They're swimming around, they're moving around. And yesterday when I put them in, there was a lot, so it was pretty crazy. I wish I would have got that in a recording, but nah, nonetheless, I still had some left here, so there they are. So I wanted to see if these things would live, so I did put this in the fridge overnight, so it's a good 15 hours later now. And it might be really hard to see, but oddly, since the sun is coming through this, if you look at that reflection or the sun shining through the vial here, you can actually see them moving around. So they look like they, I mean, you can keep them a little while, I guess. Okay, have a great day. Give me a thumbs up, thanks, or like.